Hey, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our session on redefining talent acquisition with United Airlines. And I just want to thank you so much for hanging in there. I know it's been a long conference and it's getting towards the end of the day, so we're going to try to be a little bit entertaining, but you can judge us after. So I really want to introduce my guest, and on my right I have Jess.
Hey everybody, my name is Jess Austin. I'm the Director of Talent Acquisition, and it's a long one. Programs, Processes, and Systems. We call it TAPS for short. I joined United about 9 months ago and was brought in to really reimagine the talent acquisition process and implement Phenom. I previously worked at CVS Health, so had a high volume hiring group. We were responsible for hiring over 200,000 people in 2021. So I've seen it, and there was a lot of Band-Aids in that process. So when I saw Phenom, I was so happy to see the solution. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great to have you here, Jess.
Thank you.
And Alex?
I'm Alex Shimionik. I'm the Director of HR Systems, Payroll, Employee Travel Systems, and Resource Management Systems at United. The reason our titles are so long is because during the pandemic, we went down to management and our span of control went wide. So we have a long title, but I'm excited about the Phenom implementation. I've been with the Phenom team since we started the contract negotiations at the very beginning. So it's been great to see it progress from where it was to where it is now.
Awesome, and welcome, Alex. Over on my right, we have my colleague Vikesh.
Hey, good afternoon everyone. Welcome everyone to Phenom. I'm Vikesh Manthi, and I'm the Executive Director of Product Management, responsible for product strategy, product roadmap, product planning, and also all the product bugs that you see in the CRM. So welcome on. And alongside United Airlines, welcome Alex, welcome Jess.
Thank you.
Awesome. And I'm Nancy Gray Starkbaum. I'm the VP of Value Realization here at Phenom. I've been with the company about 5 years. And I spent most of my career leading large corporate talent acquisition teams, and came to Phenom because I fell in love with the technology and have stayed here because of both the people and the technology. So we're really excited to share United's story with you all today. Let me see if I can advance this. All right. Our purpose at Phenom, I'm sure you've seen this in every session today, is of course to help 1 million people find the right job, and it is, as Mahi said this morning, the reason why our company exists. So we've just done introductions. We're going to chat about the problem that United had that led them to Phenom. We'll give you a bit of our point of view, show the approach that was taken. We have a bit of a demo, and then our story and results. Introductions. Did that? Yay, check, done. Problem statement. Alex, talk to us about what led you to the conclusion that you needed to change something within your organization.
Yeah, I think at United we weren't that unique in the sense that during the pandemic, everyone sort of panicked and everybody went down in headcount. We all saw that. And then suddenly, everyone pivoted. And before you knew it, we were in mad hiring mode. We're the same. We're still in mad hiring mode. We're growing so fast at United. Right now, we're adding 2 airplanes a week to our fleet, which means we're hiring over the next 5 years another 50,000 employees. So it's about 20,000 hires a year for the next 5 years. So we've got a lot ahead of us. So we call it our United Next program. And so we realized really quickly that we couldn't do things the way we were doing them before, which worked before but wasn't going to work for the future. And so that's what led us to Phenom. We did a market research on the products that were out there and felt that the team and the product, combination of the two, were the best choice for us.
Awesome, and I imagine you, like so many of our customers and the people we interact with, and I know I have this, is that you have a lot of bolt-ons to your core systems that can be a challenge from times. So let's take a look at what your ecosystem looked like.
Yeah, it's a scary slide. I'm sure you all have a slide very similar to this. If you look at the dark blue squares, those are things that we had, those are processes that we had automated before Phenom came along. But you can see the gray boxes were things that we did manually or just didn't do at all because we didn't have the manpower to do it. And so those things fall by the way, and those are all opportunities to hire, as you know. We had a variety of systems that were sort of talking to each other, not always, not in a great way, and not consistently. And so we weren't, as I said before, we weren't doing a great job all the way through the process. Candidates weren't feeling as though that they were getting the attention they deserved. Recruiters were probably frustrated at their jobs because they weren't able to be as effective as they wanted to be. And so we knew that we had to change quite a bit of our ecosystem.
Awesome. I can understand why looking at that slide. I'm impressed that we were able to make that. That's amazing.
Took a while.
So Jess, let's talk about, what were the requirements that you had? What were you hoping to gain when Alex came to you and said, look, we need to do a technology shift?
Yeah, we really needed help. The hiring goals that we have were very lofty, but we wanted to keep up, we wanted to deliver for United. So their plans for United Next, 500 planes over the next 5 years, really investing in sustainability. So I don't know if everybody's seen our chief trash officer, Oscar the Grouch, but if you look on LinkedIn, you'll see those ads. So we want to be 100% green by 2050. So that is kind of the trajectory of our business. And we need to meet those goals from a hiring perspective. So we found everything was very outdated. There's a lot of manual work being done today, a lot of pushing paper. So we need AI, we need machine learning, we need bots, we need all of that to really move us to be extremely competitive with other carriers. The airline industry, I think everybody was tired from COVID and staying home, and I want to travel. I'm sure you all want to travel as well. So there is a demand there, and we need people to fly our planes. We need people to check you in. We need people to run the finance and HR operations behind the scenes. So we have to hire in a very NDT. We definitely need them, but we need to hire in a very fast and efficient manner, and we need the tools to do that. So that was the main objective. We also need to hire quickly. I mean, there's demands, there's a schedule we have to follow. So it's really, really important that we have people in those roles that are really critical to our business. So we really want to create a world-class end-to-end experience. So it all starts with that candidate. We want that experience to be really good. I know when I came in the door, they had me go to a hiring event and they said, go apply. And I went to apply, and it took me almost 50 minutes to complete the application and the assessment. So we know that there is a great improvement there that we need to make. It's already cut down significantly, which is great. And we also want to ensure diversity in our hiring. So we have a 95% diversity metric goal for a diverse slate of candidates. And Phenoms Analytics are allowing us to measure, to report out, see where we need to focus a little bit more to make sure we're reaching those goals. So really amazing tool set that we can use, and it's easy. I showed some people how to do scheduling multiple interviews one day, and they were just, that's it, we're done, this is it. So they were shocked how easy and quick it could be done. So very excited to move into this space and use this tool.
Amazing. We are very excited for you to be doing that as well. And I think that you guys had something pretty cool happen in around November of 2022 that I want to talk about next, because it shows a little bit about your career site. So let's flip to this next slide. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Oh
no, you skipped this. This is the payoff slide, the ugly slide at the beginning. This is where we are now. Thank you to Tanya, who's in the front row. As you saw, the gray areas that we had before, these are now blue boxes because those processes are covered somewhere in some way by Phenom. Doesn't mean we are actually using all those things right now because we can only ingest as much as the organization can take at one time. But we have the tools there, ready to use when we're ready to use them, and that's what's really important for us. And as you can see, even though it's a messy slide, we're really have cut down the number of entry points and exit points for data along the way, so it makes it a much cleaner staff to work with.
Awesome, thank you. And this is my job, was to highlight this slide, and I blew it. So
I'm glad you blew it.
I appreciate that. It was definitely much prettier. And Alex, when you're thinking about, uptime for a system and ease of, from an IT professional's perspective, the connections and changing things out, does this solve a lot of your problems?
It does because there's fewer failure points. Now we just have our ATS and Phenom. Before we had a variety of other systems and processes, and some of them were manual in place. So it's a lot easier to support and manage, absolutely.
Awesome. And once you got this in place, you had your career site up and running. Then we'll talk now about the cool thing that happened in November of 2022. Oh.
There we go.
Here it is.
All right. So the exciting thing that happened, we have, I don't know if you've taken a look at our website, but we actually are leveraging our website to publicize programs that we have at United for apprenticeships. So one of them that we're using right now is for aircraft maintenance technicians. There's a severe shortage of those folks across the country, across the world really. And so we've created an apprenticeship program for people to enter and actually get paid to be trained. So they become a United employee, we train them, and then they are out on their job once they've been trained. That's a real advantage for us because otherwise you have to go to school to learn. And so here they can come right in. And so we created this program as a pipeline for AMTs, and our CHRO was actually at the White House in November announcing the program with President Biden. It was a big deal. We found out about it about 10 days before it was going to happen. And so we pulled it together. We pulled we call it Calibrate as our program. The Calibrate program is now on our website, got out there in about 10 days, and there's a way for folks to sign up and enter the program through Phenom. These are a couple of the social media notations that came out. Kate put this on LinkedIn, and there was an article there. There were plenty of articles, but it was a big deal in November. And we've had the program out there since then, and we've really done well with it. We've gotten hundreds of people into the pipeline, so it's been great.
And Vikesh, I think you're going to just go to the United Career site right now so we can all see what it looks like in action.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you just pass me the control?
That's Calibrate there. So we're able to, anyone that's got the CMS up and running right now, they'll see the familiar sort of template that we're using. But all of that there was built by us, by people at United within days. I make it sound easy, but because the hard part really, as you know, is getting the copy, getting the pictures, getting the videos, getting those things all put together, getting them through QuarkBound, and all the other approvals that have to happen. But the actual work to get this done was just a few days. And it's very compelling. It tells a great story about being an AMT at United and how it works and how do you sign up. And there's even a video that shows you all about it, along with other things that we have already built on our website. So they can click there and get started, and it takes them to an entry point where they fill in their information. Yeah. We actually have I'll let the cat out of the bag, even though there's a slide about this later on. We actually leverage the events registration, thank you, for this feature because we wanted to segregate these folks from the regular talent community. So we identify them as a separate pipeline from everyone else that was applying for jobs at United. So Aparna, who's in the second row there, Aparna Grover, and Lori Blass, who had to run to the airport, the two of them worked together to put this up. They had this clever idea to do this. They put this together in a couple of days, and it's exactly what we're using to collect names and email addresses for folks that are interested in joining the program.
Awesome. Love it. And I think you alluded to a very long application process. So this allowed you very quickly to get that candidate information and then work with them.
Yeah, it definitely gives us that point of communication with those interested parties. So we have the event behind it has all the information. We can reach out to them, we can email them, we can send them the application link. So anything that we need to do is right out of Phenom within the system.
Awesome. And Vikesh, I think you're going to quickly show how our events works, how easy it is.
Sure. So maybe I'll just. Okay, so events is a very effective way of how you can generate mass volume of leads. And that's where United Airlines has used it really effectively to generate hundreds and thousands of leads. Not only you are generating leads, but you're making sure that you are having a highly engaged leads. So pretty simple, quick and easy way to create the events. You can provide the event title, the category, all of that. You can run single event or recurring events. You can set it up once and you can run it automatically based on certain frequency. What you can also do is you can have the various branding of the event. So it shows up your own branding that you have as part of corporate brands. You can have the online registration as well as on-site registration. Both of them are possible. And you can have external events or internal events. So once you are done that, you can go ahead and publish this event. This is kind of as simple as that. Okay. So do that. But once you do that, it automatically shows up the page where the candidates can come in and register for the event. So
Yeah, if you go to that events link at the top, Prakash,
this one.
go on top of our website,
Oh, sorry.
see where it says events, it
On
says
the
United,
United.
to the right of that, there you go. These are live events that we have right now, you can just scroll down and see them. That our teams, they build them in, less than a day. And we, I don't know what your experience is, but when we publicize our events, sometimes we'll have thousands of people show up in, no time flat. So we really have to manage it tightly because it can get out of control very quickly. Especially when we're talking about flight attendants or rampers, they show up by the thousands. So these are two events we've got running right now, but we've run 100+ events in the last 6 months
Yeah,
through
definitely.
Phenom. So tens of thousands of people have come to our events because of that.
Awesome. And besides events, one of the things that I love that you've done for your interns and your summer students is a newsletter. And I spent 5 years kind of observing some of the best practices that our customers have on our platform. And newsletters are a great way to reach out to your different segmented talent pipelines. We really have to retrain talent to open emails from us because LinkedIn and Indeed and other job boards where we've signed up for jobs has trained us not to open those. I mean, I don't know what about this says finance jobs? Nothing in my resume says finance jobs, but I get finance jobs, and so I don't open that stuff. So retraining your talent pipelines to open stuff from you is so important, and newsletters are a really nice way of doing that.
I'll just show you one more thing. Can you keep that in control here?
So I can talk a little bit about that while we're switching slides. So Zandro Diavera, he is in the crowd as well. He runs our campus recruiting team. And what they did was they created, through a campaign in Phenom, an engagement place for our incoming interns for 2023 for the summer. So, and honestly, he did this by himself and really kind of just played around with the system. So I thought it was fabulous when I saw it, but it was a way for us to engage with those incoming interns, make them feel part of the family. And it was really cool because it was like, hey, you're going to be pre-boarding soon, you're going to be onboarding, really trying to use plain vernacular to get people acquainted with us. And in the March edition, I thought it was really cool because it was like spring break time. There was a link to get a discount on United's flights for spring breakers. So if I was a college kid, I would have been pretty jazzed about that. I thought that was pretty cool. It invited them to a LinkedIn group. It, really tries to make them become part of that cohesive group before they're even in the door as interns for us. So, and Chandra told me the March, April version just went out this morning as well. So we're continuing that conversation with these interns coming in and really making them feel part of our family.
And you can even get, you see this in the background, you can see the engagement rate with that newsletter. The open rates are tremendous. I don't know if anyone has experience with emails, but you don't get open rates like that on emails, ever.
Awesome. The
Switch.
campaign, and I'm just going to say, campaigning, if you're committing to do a newsletter, think about whether you can produce one monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, 6 months, or annually, so that once you've started it, you're able to keep it up easily. All right, so that was Calvary. We had some slides in here just in case if we weren't going to do the live demo. Let's just Alright. So, of course, we have some outcomes, and would love to hear from you, Jess, what those outcomes were from a business perspective.
Yeah, so in September, I was actually at HR Tech. We decided to launch for CMS. It got delayed a little, so it coincided with HR Tech, and I actually bombarded the the Phenom team at HR Tech, and I was like, we're going live tonight, I know where to find you in case we need you, but we went live successfully, so our career site, our chatbot, all went live, and we also started using events back in September. So that was wonderful. In December, we had a lot of work to get onto the CRM. We're using Taleo as our ATS, so there's some habits there that we need to try to fix going forward. But our CRM, we did a pilot phase launch on December 22nd. We had about 10 recruiters in there and really started receiving initial feedback on, hey, how do you do this? This doesn't look right. So we've been working through those with our Phenom partners, and honestly, we've had some great partnership from the team on really trying to find solutions. And it may not be what we originally asked for, because they're often giving us really creative ideas on how we can fix things and how we can move this forward a little bit. So the partnership has been wonderful. We are actively working through a couple showstopper issues that we need to resolve to get the rest of our recruiters on. That is our big goal, is over the next probably month, we want to get 180 recruiters on the system using the system. So that's really our goal over the next couple weeks. And then after that, we want to launch our internal mobility. We're working on that in the background a little bit. High volume hiring, which we think will be a huge help to us for our ramp roles, our customer service roles, any of those high volume roles that we have. I think we're also maybe looking at it for flight attendants,
Absolutely.
right? Flight attendants, we get about 10,000 applications every time we post a flight attendant application. People wait for it to post, so high volume will really help in that light as well. And then any kind of process improvement. So we are, looking at any kind of automation, the recipes. I'm really excited about the recipe that we're going to put in. So as soon as we get, really understand the business processes that will benefit from automation, we are going to start turning those on and really changing the landscape for our team. So we're super excited about that.
Amazing. I love the 50% year-over-year improvement in first site traffic. We've got about 5 minutes left, so let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about events already.
Those are some pictures from an event that we had at the United Center in Chicago. Actually, you can see how many people show up for those. You can be crazy. Lines are going out the door down the block to get in.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're also talking a lot about diversity and inclusion, making sure that we are looking at metrics. We have better visibility to the metrics than we any time before ever had. It's also allowing us to shift our focus for marketing. So working with a lot of different job boards and job postings, we're really trying to partner with different groups on making United visible and making United in these spaces where we can really make a difference with people. So we are moving, we have a new EVP coming out soon, so I really want to go, heavy on the skills-based hiring and really, look at that as our going forward measure as well, to implement.
Amazing, awesome. And diversity and inclusion, getting those metrics is so important. It's been something that in talent acquisition we've always struggled to do when we think about measuring the diversity and inclusion within our talent pipelines. So Alex, what's next? You've come this far.
Yeah, one more thing I want to point out, and this is great, this is not even Phenom related, but it does, Phenom leads the way into this. There was one of the first slides I think you saw, we want to build a world-class hiring experience, and that includes what happens after they get their offer. So a lot of times the ball gets dropped right there, and then the experience turns south. And what we're doing here is we're saying, Phenom's getting us to the point of the offer, and then we're going to give the candidate the offer and deliver them into an onboarding app that we're building a service now that will give them a pathway to make sure all their backgrounds and clearances are done, make sure that all the tests they have to take are done, W-2, W-4, I-9, videos from their organization, training they may want to take beforehand, who's your team, meet your team, that kind of stuff, just so that by the time they get to day one, they're fully engaged and immersed in the United experience.
Awesome. And Alex, final thoughts that you might have on advice for anybody who's contemplating or is in the middle of a journey like this?
Yeah, so the thing that we definitely, there's two real things we learned in this. One is change management. Change management's going to be bigger than you think it's going to be, especially when the organization is larger. Two is we've had a really strong partnership between HR and IT. I'm the IT guy, she's the HR lady, and we have been lockstep along the way with this program and implementation. We all have the same goals. We're just looking at them in different ways, and we're arriving at those goals in our own way. But that we have the same goals, and so that partnership has been really powerful because it's paved the way in a lot of different ways, both in the HR organization and the IT organization. And I know that my IT team is 100% committed to success here, and we have the same from our HR team. So when we get together, nobody's going to beat us at this.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And I think we have time for a couple of questions if any of you want to ask anything.
On the initial slide of the journey from the 14 weeks to the 2 to 4 weeks, what's the end goal? Is that then the 2 to 4 weeks through the process and higher? Just curious about what that goal is.
Yeah, the goal is, I'll say that again, that's the goal, is to get them through their background and clearance at 4 weeks. It changes, the ultimate hire date changes based on when we have training availability, where they live, the job they're going into, so it's hard to sort of pin that down. But to get them through backgrounds and clearance through the 4 weeks.
And including like the actual interview process itself.
Oh yes, sure. From application to background and clearance in 4 weeks.
Anyone else?
And for airline business, it's highly regulated, so we have a lot of things we have to go through background with, so for us, it's tougher.
Any other questions?
Maybe tiring you out.
Well, it's been a fabulous couple of days here and appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Jess and Alex, for joining us and sharing your story with United Airlines. We're super proud to have a partnership with you and look forward to all of the great results that I know we're going to get as we continue down this journey. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.